Welcome, everyone. It's the All You Can Geek podcast or Moviecast number 537. This week, we don't have Jim, our usual host tonight. Unfortunately, he is a little under the weather, but he should be back next week. Although we do have Mike Saniti
What's up?
and Tony Korknakis.
Hello.
My name is Corey, as I said. I think I said, oh my gosh, I can't even remember now. I'm so like, oh no, Jim's not here to help us get through this beginning. So what do? This is a movie cast. So sorry about that. We'll start off with what we've been up to since it's crazy because the movie, like, there's still movie stuff going on. Like, we're gonna see there's the Academy Award nominations just happened and stuff like that. It's like, wait, do we even have movies this like past year to even know? It's weird. It's definitely surreal a little bit. But let's start with what we've been up to. Mike, what have you been watching? Now, no WandaVision, so it's like, it's a big void to fill.
Nothing.
Oh, all right. That's one way to fill a void. Tony?
I finished that Kim's Convenience show. I caught it.
Yeah.
All of it. 4 seasons. And then they canceled the show, so I'm just kind of upset about that.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, what can you do? I guess just shake my head. But yeah, a good show. Would highly recommend it. They're only canceling it because the writers are moving on, and apparently they'd rather cancel it than get new writers or
right.
writers. So
does it like feel like it could end on a note that do they feel like they're gonna have like a finale, or it's just gonna end? And because some shows kind of have that, good, we're gonna have like more seasons, so we're gonna continue these storylines and stuff. And
I mean, maybe, but what I was gathering was that they already finished season 5, so like there's no opportunity for them to do that.
That's the worst. That is awful. So
yeah.
So where can you check that out if you do want to take?
Netflix. Definitely.
Netflix. Okay. All right. So that's it.
Yep. That's
all
it
right.
For me.
Well, for me, I've been on my anime streak here, so I've been getting through a bunch of anime, especially with no WandaVision or anything. And I don't think I've mentioned, but I watched The Wise Man's Grandchild. Have you guys seen that or heard of it? This one I think is my favorite one I've seen recently. That's like, it's one season, but that's all there is at the moment. They definitely left it open for another season because there's more of the manga, or I think it's a manga. There's more of that out there, but this is about a guy who is in modern Japan, and then he gets killed in a car accident and gets reincarnated into a fantasy world with magic and stuff, and he gets discovered when his family that he's born into is all killed, and he gets discovered by this wizard who's the wise man, they call him. He's like the hero of the fantasy world of that age, but he's now older, and so he gets raised by him outside of everything. So he's kind of just been like this in the woods hermity kind of guy, but he learns magic from the wise man, who's the greatest wizard of all time. And then he learns how to, use a sword from the greatest sword master, because the wizard's best friend, obviously, is like a sword master. So he learns how to fight, and he learns how to become a wizard all on his own without any like real interaction with other people. And then he has the opportunity to go to a school to learn, officially learn magic and become like a wizard or something like that. So he goes, and it's kind of like he doesn't know how to act in this place, and he's all nervous about it a little bit. It's like, oh, this is going to be interesting. All these kids who are really good at magic and stuff. And then he goes to like the test, like see where like he ranks and things. And all the kids are like doing these crazy hand motions and citing like, oh, fire of the earth, come to me and give me your power. And like they're doing all these motions, and he's like, what is happening? Like, why are they spewing all this garbage? Like, why are they talking and doing all these hand motions? And so he's like all confused and embarrassed for them, because he just does the magic. He doesn't say anything. He just like does it because he remembers everything from his like previous life, and he uses the knowledge of his modern like Japan, like just common sense and science stuff to it's like, this is how you make a bomb. And so he just puts the stuff together, like makes fireballs and stuff like with his magic. and all meanwhile these kids are like doing all these crazy like moves and things, and so he's just like, I'm just gonna blow shit up, and like he is the most powerful like student there, and he had no idea like nobody was on his level or anything like that. So it was interesting though, because it starts to be like a power creep thing where it's like a guy who's kind of at his level comes along, and then there's these demons that he has to kill, that they have to kill and take care of. But it was good. I'd say like it was one of my favorites, just based on the fact that how OP he is, and how he has to interact with these people that he hasn't really been around all that much before. And then the other one I was watching was Doctor Stone, I think.
Yeah, Dr. Stone.
Yeah, I watched that one. The first season of that anyway, and that was pretty fun. I like the whole sciencey thing. It's interesting to go from that Wise Man Grandchild to the Dr. Stone one, where the entire world gets petrified, and then the one kid who's basically a mad genius in science wakes up and helps kind of rebuild the world. Pretty neat. Well, like
I've heard good things about it.
It's like an educational, like reminds me of like Science Guy type of thing, where it's like, oh, let's help kids learn about, make science exciting, but we'll put it in anime and make it fun. And
right.
So I like that. And it's good, like a lot of good storylines, a lot of neat things, like this is how you make a bomb, and
you're making bombs this week, man.
And then it's like that's what these animes are, and then and there's like a little like disclaimer saying this is actually how you would do it, so don't do this at home.
What?
So it's like yeah, so it's interesting, but I did think that was really well done so far, and I guess the second season's in the works, or it's coming out as we speak, so I'll check that out. That's what I've been watching. More anime, good stuff. All right, so let's get into the news. And like I said, there's like some actual interesting news in the movies, because we had the Academy Award nominations, and
I heard somebody sweep them.
Well, I know that there's a couple of like Minari is really like been the darling, and I've heard nothing but good things about that movie, and just it's a Korean family that comes to America to kind of capitalize on the American dream, but obviously has to deal with being Korean and stuff. And I know about that one. I don't know like which one did they say swept?
Oh, I was sorry. I didn't mean like a one movie sweeping, but I was listening to the news off of my Echo, and apparently Netflix got nominated for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. There's like a lot of animated stuff as well. Sure. But yeah, Best Picture, we had again, bunch of these movies never heard of. I've heard of 2 of these movies.
Yep.
And that's just the nature of this past year, like, so Best Picture is The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, The Trial of Chicago 7. Like, I've only heard of 2 of those movies.
Well, that's impressive, because that's 2 more than I did. But I don't think it's the nature of this year so much as it's the nature of the Oscars now, because
well, I mean, it's the Oscars.
Popular movies aren't it anymore for them.
That's fair, but at the same time, I think we would have heard about some of these movies a little bit more, just based on the fact that we would have seen some stuff in posters or movie theaters or trailers or something. You just don't see that. Like, I mean, there's always a few movies that come out of nowhere, but it's just interesting. The other news I would say is fairly big coming out of this is that Steven Yeun from Minari and from Walking Dead fame as Glenn got nominated as in the Best Actor role, which is the first Asian American to ever get nominated for the Academy Award in a leading role. So that's really cool, especially obviously being Asian. So it's good for the Asians there.
Asian representation.
Exactly. Kind of get like forgotten in this whole like minority thing, but that's awesome. Good for him. And then a bunch of other stuff. But like you're saying, Netflix got nominated for a couple of animated features. I know that there was some of those. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff I just haven't paid attention. It's probably just us, not paying attention to what's going on in the movie
I
world.
think it's just people don't pay attention to
Even
what's
like,
nominated
even
for
a couple of
anymore.
years ago, like I'm talking about us personally. We
No, I
always talk
know.
about stuff too, and
We,
say,
we
I don't
try
know.
to, and every year we're like, fuck the Oscars, because this isn't what we're watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I just pulled up an article from Variety. It said Netflix towered over the nominations for the 93rd Academy Awards on Monday, picking up a leading 35 nominations,
Oof.
beating its own previous record of 24 last year in 2020.
I mean,
So, yeah.
kind of makes sense too. Just the streaming platform helped. Not much coming out in the theater. Where else are you gonna get movies?
The
Yep.
chance in the theaters are like, 3 years old. Anyway,
But yeah, it's only gonna go up, I would imagine, as more and more stuff is hitting. Yeah. So moving on though from the Oscars to James Cameron and Avatar retook the crown from Avengers Endgame as the highest grossing movie worldwide ever, and that's because it was re-released in China, and people went to see it. Although I do think you're gonna have the Avengers Endgame kind of retaking that back when it goes back
Yeah,
into
with another
theaters.
re-release.
if it feels like doing that, they can do that too. It's
Yeah,
just gonna go on forever.
Absolutely.
This is gonna be stupid. It already
Yeah.
is stupid.
I mean, it's something you can tout over people, and
I think these re-releases they get an asterisk from me.
for what? For
For-
making money?
No, for being the like highest grossing movie ever, like in one run. That's what
Mhm.
I think is more like, comparable to everything else.
I mean, it's all kind of relative though, for the times too. Like
Yeah, movies would run for like a year back in the day.
So it's I don't know if you put an asterisk, but if people go to see it, they're going to see it. They're still paying money, even though they could watch it on their home television.
Do
moving
people
on.
really like update Jaws every time it goes in a theater again?
I'm sure somebody does. Absolutely.
That number
I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure. I mean, we were getting numbers all last year
for
for
like
stuff
the
at the drive-in
trilogy,
stuff.
the original
Yeah.
Star Wars. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Batman.
There were numbers last year for that, dude.
Yeah.
I remember numbers, but are they
Empire.
adding those to those like
Yeah.
from
Of course
before?
they would.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they? It's in the theater, so like of course someone's doing it for sure. But yeah, like Empire was number one for a while, wasn't it? Like the drive-ins.
Yeah, I think so.
So it happens, and yeah, it counts. I mean,
right there.
just because it's older doesn't mean it shouldn't count.
Barry Bonds.
Yeah. All right, moving on. So let's get into DC news here. DC news, we have Batgirl and oh my gosh, can't even say her name.
What?
Zatanna. The magician girl from
Zatanna.
Zatanna. Thank you.
Zatanna, whatever.
They're coming to HBO Max. In their own series, it seems. So getting some
a live action or animated vehicle.
It seems like this is gonna be. I didn't get to go through the entire thing.
Well,
So I'm not sure.
This is again, another thing that would have been on DC Universe if it existed still.
There were like talks about these characters getting their own shows before.
I mean,
they're okay characters.
It's hard to care for anything from Warner Brothers. Like, I'm sorry to say, I can't get excited for them anymore. And I think that ties into some of the news of the Snyder Cut stores coming out right now.
That came out too, right?
So this is funny to me because it's not there. I haven't seen anything that professional critics have been this divided on in a long time. Because we've got so right now on Metacritic at least, there's 12 positive reviews, 18 mixed, and 4 negative. And the top ones or 100, 90, 88.
I think if you like it, you like it.
It's like Variety gives it a 90, Telegraph 100, RogerEbert.com 88, Slate 80, CNN 80, IGN 80, The Guardian 80, and then if you go, then we got Slant 25, Hollywood Reporter 30, New York Times 30. So it's interesting to me. I don't know if this happens too frequently, but that it tracks. It's kind of how something like this goes with Snyder, but it does seem overall better received than Justice League theatrical version. So I guess that's good.
Yeah, well, I think what we were saying, the 4-hour time on this thing is
It's
definitely
rough.
going to be a factor, but if
But
you just break it up, then
it is only streaming, so it kind of doesn't need to matter that much. It can take a week to watch it or whatever you need to do. I just don't. Again, I don't understand why he would say or write in. He would say beforehand, and then obviously that's confirmed. Although it's not really out yet, but that it ends with a cliffhanger. That's just mind-numbingly stupid to me. But whatever.
Yep. No, it's really, really weird. When does that hit? This week, right?
Friday.
Friday. Yep. Oof. Coming up. All right. We'll have to let us know, guys out there. Podcast or what is it? allyoucangeek@gmail.com. Yeah, let us know what you guys think about this because it's interesting. You get all these re-releases in the theater, and now you're actually getting a whole brand new cut of this film.
Remastered.
You're getting all the deleted scenes back.
Plus new CGI stuff that's with Joker and all that stuff that just seems like out of nowhere. But
we're probably gonna get 5 separate dream sequences. That's my guess. It's gonna be dumb, but
gotta be at least 1 an hour. Yeah.
Interesting to say the least.
Moving on to the Borderlands movie, which has gotten a new cast member, Haley Bennett, who is going to be playing a new role for this film, specifically, not from the video game. And I would assume this role would kind of be the view of be our eyes into this world or something.
That Cole guy in the Mortal Kombat trailer.
Exactly. It's like she's probably going to be the one to help us.
The Jason Segel puppet in the Muppets movie. Boring.
Yeah, just someone to be relatable to because these characters are not relatable really that much. So yeah, that's my guess. It's interesting that they're, like I said last time when we got the Tiny Tina news, that they're pulling characters from different games. So it sounds like they're gonna have more of their own thing going on, which is fine. I don't think you need to follow the first game specifically to a T. I don't mind doing your own stories and make it your own thing. I'm curious to see where they're going with this just because of the casting. I'm just it's not what I expected at all. So that makes me more curious about the direction of this film. And obviously being the biggest Borderlands fan, I'm excited to see where they go. Also hitting Friday though, right? On Disney Plus is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And they're already saying, which I think we kind of figured that we wouldn't see many sequels, but they're already saying there isn't anything in the works right now, which
means if there was, it would be a long time from now if they did do it.
And because I feel like these shows, I do feel that they are really kind of helping expand with these characters who they are and give you more insight onto them, but then help push what's coming next in the film too. So it's like they don't want to lock themselves down to, oh yeah, season 2's coming, when we don't necessarily know what's going to happen with these characters in the films. They don't want to give anything away by saying, oh yeah, we're going to do these extra seasons.
And also these are legacy characters sort of at the ends of their contracts, a little bit extended into this.
A little meta info there.
So this is sort of like the extra stuff already for them.
Right.
So I'm not sure how much more we'll see of these characters going forward, to be honest.
I don't know. I think it's kind of weird to say. I mean, the people whose contracts we had to worry about were mostly Avengers 1.
Yeah, I know, but these are still the older ones, and they're adding a lot.
But they're also not as expensive.
Right.
They'll get
Really.
there.
Yeah, but I
Who,
mean, they'll
who do you
get
think's
there.
gonna
But
get there?
I mean,
Any one
overall,
of
they'll
them.
get there.
Who do you think is gonna get to like Robert Downey Jr. levels?
Any one of them could. Unless you want to say that
Not
Robert
all
Downey
at
Jr.
once.
already had a lot of star power going in, which apparently was not true.
No, but Robert Downey Jr. got star power after 3 movies and was making bank.
He was a name
It
before.
was sure, but it was Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Avengers, and they're like, oh shit, we need to pay him a lot of money to come back.
Sure, well, they could get there with any one of these people.
Who?
I mean, they could, Tony. I mean, it's not untrue,
It's
but
Anthony
it's not
Mackie.
likely.
Could be the new Will Smith, new Captain America, and he would be a big deal in like 10 years, like that. Or I don't know about anyone else, honestly. Because he's the one who sort of stands out as he could be like a big, like, star power guy. He might be the biggest name.
Anthony Mackie?
I think so.
I mean, I think the
Sebastian
problem, I
Stan,
think,
people like
with
him, but
these, they don't have the charisma like that Downey has, like the gravitas, you could say. And I don't think in one shot you're gonna get like a $75 million plus like
no,
a 10%.
it's not going to be like that. But I just don't think they want to commit to these people long term like they did before.
I mean, if the characters are successful and they can keep popping in and out, like it makes sense to have the actors play them. And like I said, I don't think they're as expensive as these other.
We know Tom Holland needs a contract already.
I don't. It just baffles my mind that we're focused on this when it's like this whole thing with like, what are we doing with Henry Cavill? What are we doing with Ben Affleck? And like they're just both fucking gone. Especially Ben after this next thing. Henry, who the fuck knows what's going on with him?
And now they're like.
What does that have to do with this?
Spotlight.
I'm just saying, like it's interesting. Like for so long, it's like, oh well, technically Henry Cavill's still Superman. It's been like what 4 years without a movie, and like it's like, oh well, these guys are approaching their end of contract and stuff like that. It's like, who's at the end of the contract?
I just know that they were in the older movies, and then they're adding a bunch of new characters, and I think they're changing the focus.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like the actor for Bucky signed up for like what 7 movies or 6 movies or something like that. It's a ridiculous number.
I don't know, but I just know that we're talking about why there's no sequels to these shows. They don't want to be.
You don't need sequels.
You don't
need sequels to the shows, though. You don't need it. It's not like The Mandalorian. It's not like Stranger Things. You can the whole point is like these are contained stories. So like, despite Wanda and WandaVision being popular, I don't think we need a WandaVision season 2. They might do Wanda and fill in the blank.
Right.
Maybe it's Wanda and Doctor Strange.
Different one shots with these characters,
like
and
Sure.
just like they're extended movies, like you said yourself, Mike. Like
and if they do another TV show, it'll be about a different character they want to focus on. That's what they're not going to.
Or you can bring other characters back.
Started already in other movies. That's what I mean. They don't need to focus on these older characters anymore in their own shows, because they aren't the future really. They'll be there for a little, I'm sure, to do the next bridge like we're gonna have, but I think that the whole shift is gonna be, anyone who was in the older movies will slowly get phased out.
Yeah, I mean, they're eventually going to be you're gonna have mutants and Fantastic Four, excuse me, and you're gonna get new characters like we've already seen She-Hulk and Miss Marvel and Hawkeye. The girl Hawkeye. So like we're gonna get all these newer Moon Knight. What else? Like, we got a bunch of stuff coming out, and a lot of those characters will probably be in films. But it's nice to see these side characters or the lesser known characters that we didn't have movies specifically for them get their own thing. And yeah, we could see like a Winter Soldier series or miniseries come out where it's focused on him and somebody else, like you're saying, Tony. Like you can have all these, and he could pop in to other shows. Like that's the great thing about what they're doing here is you can just have these guys come in and out of whatever. And we're gonna see. I'm sure we're gonna get some stuff in Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's a surprise as well. So there's gonna be lasting effects on the Marvel universe after, because we got White Vision out there in the world now, and Scarlet Witch is now a thing. So we'll see how these shows kind of impact the movies, and we already know that they will, and these characters are going to be going back and forth potentially.
Right.
So no, it's exciting for me at least. I'm looking
No, it
forward
definitely
to
is, because the thing is, like, they have to announce the movie so far in advance, and because it's so far in advance, it's like, at least a 2 to 3 year lead time. But with the shows, I feel like you can get a much shorter, like, year and a half time window from announcement to release and stuff like that. Obviously, barring the exceptions with COVID and all that stuff, because
Yeah. Right. Well, absolutely. But yeah, no, it's great. I do think. I mean, do we have any predictions for what the Falcon and Winter Soldier might
No.
surprise wise?
I'm not going down that route again. No, nothing's going to happen. Absolutely nothing will happen in this, except someone will say, "You're the Winter Soldier" at the end. That's what'll happen.
All right.
And then, or "You're the Falcon." That'll be the big
Or
reveal at the end. Or the Captain Falcon.
Captain Falcon?
Captain Falcon. Yes, it'll be Captain Falcon.
Falcon Punch.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that, Mike. I do think that with this show, based off what we learned from WandaVision and how it's pretty well self-contained, I do think that it'll be similar to that. But as we know, we had some pretty interesting things that are going to impact the movies and the world, White Vision and Scarlet Witch and stuff. So I do think there will be something here that's gonna have a lasting impact on.
Yeah. Well, this is absolutely about going to determine the mantle for Captain America, the next Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a doubt in my mind that that's going to be part of.
Yeah, I mean, based off of what I've seen so far, it kind of seems like him struggling, as in Anthony Mack, the Falcon character, struggling to live up to that name, and does he deserve it, kind of thing. It's what it seems like from what I'm looking at, what I've seen so far. But I'm excited to see Baron Zemo in this and what he's up to, and I don't think he's the only bad guy. Obviously, there's some other stuff going on there, so I want to see what that's all about. So yeah, it's exciting, and having it pretty close after WandaVision's nice, because you take a little break and you get back into a new show that's with familiar characters. So that'll be cool. So yeah, and that's our movie cast, guys. There wasn't too much else without Jim here. So we're gonna probably wrap it up there. If you guys have anything to add, like I said, I would love to hear from you guys regarding Justice League and the Snyder Cut, and if you're excited for these Marvel Marvel Disney Plus shows, you can contact us at allyoucangeek@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook, check out our YouTube, subscribe, hit that button, subscribe, and check us out on Twitter. So that'll do it. See you guys next week.